Elijah, a prophet of God, stood alone against the prophets of Baal, who had led the people of Israel astray. The showdown took place on Mount Carmel, where Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal to a test of their God's power. And Elijah came near to all the people and said, "How long will you go limping between two different opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him, but if Baal, then follow him." And the people did not answer him a word. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 21. The prophets of Baal built an altar and called upon their God to send fire to consume their sacrifice, but nothing happened. Elijah then built an altar to the Lord and drenched it with water, making it even more difficult for fire to ignite. And Elijah said to all the people, "Come near to me." And all the people came near to him. And he repaired the altar of the Lord that had been thrown down. And Elijah took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord came, saying, "Israel shall be your name." And with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord. And he made a trench about the altar as great as would contain 2 seahs of seed. And he put the wood in order and cut the bull in pieces and laid it on the wood. And he said, "Fill 4 jars with water and pour it on the burnt offering and on the wood." And he said, "Do it a second time." And they did it a second time. And he said, "Do it a third time." And they did it a third time. And the water ran around the altar and filled the trench also with water. 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 30 to 35. Elijah prayed to God, and suddenly fire came down from heaven and consumed the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water in the trench around the altar. The people of Israel fell on their faces and declared that the Lord was God. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt offering, and the wood and the stones and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces and said, "The Lord, He is God, the Lord, He is God." 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 38 to 39. Elijah then ordered the prophets of Baal to be seized, and he killed them all. The people of Israel turned back to God, and the drought that had plagued the land for 3 years came to an end. And Elijah said to them, "Seize the prophets of Baal, let not one of them escape." And they seized them. And Elijah brought them down to the brook Kishon and slaughtered them there. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 40. And Elijah said to Ahab, "Go up, eat and drink, for there is a sound of the rushing of rain." So Ahab went up to eat and to drink. And Elijah went up to the top of Mount Carmel. And he bowed himself down on the earth and put his face between his knees. And he said to his servant, "Go up now, look toward the sea." And he went up and looked and said, "There is nothing." And he said, "Go again 7 times. And at the 7th time he said, "Behold, a little cloud like a man's hand is rising from the sea." And he said, "Go up, say to Ahab, prepare your chariot and go down, lest the rain stop you." And in a little while the heavens grew black with clouds and wind, and there was a great rain. 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 41 to 45. Elijah's victory over the prophets of Baal was a powerful demonstration of God's power, and a reminder to the people of Israel that there is only one true God. It was a dramatic moment in the history of Israel and a testament to the faith and courage of Elijah, who stood firm in his belief in God despite overwhelming odds.